I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
What's up guys, Maxim here, welcome back to another video. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Well, as you guys saw from the title of this video, we'll be having a look at gear and how you guys should decide which character need which equipment. The reason I'm making this video is that I thought everybody knows by now the general rule of making equipment for characters, but apparently not after seeing the screenshots of people asking for help, and most of the comments is just people making fun of them in the process. And for that, I say, worry not, my children. But before jumping into it, if you guys are not subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. Funny enough, more than 80% of you are not subscribed to the channel yet. Please hit that red button, make sure it's gray so you guys can support the channel, and it does not cost anything. With that out of the way, let's get started. There is a general rule for each equipment that everybody needs to keep in mind every time you plan to make a gear for any character, which is you need a certain number of the same equipments to activate the special ability or the special effect, which would appear for you right here in the bottom of this menu. For example, if I want to have the plus 20% attack for a certain character, it would require me to have 4 equipments of the attack symbol equipment at the same time in order for that effect to be activated. Something I should mention, that not all equipment require 4 pieces of the same symbol to activate the special effect. Sometimes it's 2. For example, the death pieces only needs 2 pieces to be equipped simultaneously in order to have the extra 20% defensive strat, and it goes the same for some of the other equipment, such as like crit damage and others as well. I'm not going to cover all of them. Alright, I hope that clear enough for you guys, which lead me to the most important question that you guys are most probably curious about, which is how should I determine which gear each character needs? That's pretty simple. In order for you to do that, you have to choose a character you want to work on and have a look at their basic stats, passive, and skills. If their unique is a unique that would benefit all of the team and would enhance their abilities, you would probably want this character to survive as long as possible in order to keep that effect active as much as possible. For that reason, you would want to give them HP and defense in order to increase their CC and their survivability rate. If a character has a high attack basic stats and his skills rates are scaling up very high, you would probably want this character to do most of the damage, and for that you would want to have an attack and defense or attack and crit damage in order for that character to do damage and have some survivability. Hence, you can equip crit damage if a character is a crit based character, but keep in mind that a crit equipment has a lower CC than the defense, so that would decrease your character combat class or combat power drastically. I feel like the CC is a whole another subject that I would love to get into in a whole different video, so I'm not going in full depth on the subject, so make sure you subscribe in order for you to actually not miss on that video. Which lead me to the chart that I made explaining how would you equip each character and why you should probably do the same. So we'll be taking each character one by one and discussing some of his passives and why they should be geared this way and not another. Alright, this is the chart. Like, you guys know if you watched like previous videos of mine, I really sucky with Excel, so I always use this side instead. So the chart actually combine or consist of HP and defense, attack and defense, and attack and crit damage, because I don't want to cover all of the other substats or the other equipments, because most of the characters require these equipments, because HP and defense and attack and defense or attack and crit damage, that's the highest CC or one of the highest CCs that you can actually have in the game, and the game is all really CC dominant, especially in PvP, or you're planning to use that character in PvP. You probably want to have a higher CC in order to start first, because if you start second, it's probably gonna be ruining your plan more and more. keep in mind that I'm not going to be covering each character in the game. I'm actually going to be covering most of the popular characters in the game, and some of these characters can actually share the same equipment, so you can actually just like just change them. And yeah, this is like my personal opinion how I actually equipped each character, and it's been actually working out for me pretty well. So I hope it actually can be benefiting you guys as well. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to be going in full depth for each character. I'm just going to be taking it probably like why this character needs this and why not the other. So yeah, if you guys want to like to see a video like that in the future, let me know in the comments down below, and I'll actually get to work on it straight away. Starting off, for example, like let's see if you want to like to give. Let's start with Gowther because he's very important. Gowther right now, you want him to like to survive in order to like to keep on getting like the same sort of like passive working, and plus like you want him to survive as well, and you want him to like to keep on giving that sort of like that passive like for a really long time. So I gave him HP and defense. Some people actually gave him like triple defense in order to like for him to work in the knighthood boss, but HP and defense is actually like higher CC and also like works so well in PvP, and you don't want to like to be wasting your mats, especially if you're free to play. So HP and defense actually work very well for Gowther. So yeah, HP and defense is the way to go. For Meliodas, when I say Meliodas, I'm probably gonna be saying like or Meliodases. Most people would equip actually attack and defense. I don't know why I place them in HP and defense. Attack and defense is actually decent, and why not attack and crit damage? It's mostly because defense actually give a higher CC or combat class to to a character, and plus like it enables them to like to actually live up a bit compared to like to crit damage. But if you actually want to have fun, of course, like I would actually recommend giving attack and crit damage, but attack and defense is the way to go. Make sure you actually like place like the defense pieces, like for example at the same place, in order to like to change them later on with crit damage if you want to like to experiment. But attack and defense is the high CC, combat class and everything, so it's actually much better. For Elizabeth, for example, which is like a support unit, like mostly, I'm gonna take like a random Elizabeth just because they actually share the same sort of like UR gear. For example, let's take Goddess Elizabeth. HP and defense actually works perfect for Goddess Elizabeth, so you want to be giving her HP and defense in order for her to like to survive as much as possible, in order for her passive, which is like reviving the characters, to be active like for as long as possible as well, and keeps on like putting her shield and supporting the units in the right way. So HP and defense is the way to go in order for her to survive as much as possible. Of course, like we have Ascanor or the one Ascanor. Attack and defense should actually work pretty well. Like you can actually give him attack and defense, as I mentioned earlier, and if you want to experiment, you can actually have him attack and crit damage as well, because like with Green Gowther now in the field, like boosting up the attack stats is actually very good to actually like have like a crit damage sort of gear as well. So yeah, like I said, like just like put them in the same slots in order for you to actually change up if you actually need it. But attack and defense is actually the way to go. Both Ascanors are the same, so you can actually share. The one Ascanor actually needs attack and crit damage, but you can actually equip him with attack and defense. I personally have both, and it's actually been working just fine if I use attack and defense, because sometimes when you place attack and crit damage for the one Ascanor, for like cards that actually scales up to 600% and also like 700, like 450, I believe, is actually like an overkill on a character, because most characters doesn't exceed like 210, for example, like HP if he's actually a whale unit with HP and defense. And the one Ascanor, when he hits like a full passive with Green Gowther, he's most likely to hit like 350. And if you actually give him attack and defense, he's most likely going to be surviving in PvP, and at the same time he can actually do the extra damage. For Merlin, for example, she have to like to have an HP and defense, not the Lodi Merlin. Lottie Merlin actually needs like attack and some lifesteal. I saw like some people actually equip her, but attack and crit damage actually works as well for the new Lottie Merlin. But if you want to use the usual Merlins or the normal Merlins, since they're like support units that are actually great associations for a lot of characters, and also like they could be used in the back for their passives. HP and defense is actually really good because you're going to be increasing your CC, and at the same time you're going to be saving them from dying from first turn or getting one-shotted by a certain character. So HP and defense is actually really good for any Merlin in the game right now. Sario, for example, you can actually equip him attack and defense if you want to like to increase his CC, but most people actually equip him attack and crit damage. I did see at like HP and crit damage in really top like 100 Whaley PvP if you're pushing like top 100 or something for some reason. But attack and crit damage is actually the way to go if you're planning to use them for crit like PvE content and stuff. Personally, I have attack and crit damage for him because I'm really obsessed with seeing like high numbers. So you can actually use attack and crit defense if you want. You don't want to like to see like him to like to his full potential, but attack and crit damage is the best one you can actually have. For Droll, for example, like Droll, like personally, I feel like he's a very important character. He's mostly a support unit that actually does a decent damage as well, even if he's actually HP and defense. And yeah, I feel like HP and defense is the way to go because you want him to survive, and you can actually share it with the other green, the blue Gowther. Blue Droll. Why am I talking about Gowther? Blue Droll as well. So yeah, because he has like a taunt, and you want him to be surviving, and plus like you want him to be a bit tanky, and yeah. So HP and defense is the way to go for Droll. He's really good. He's very fantastic. I like the character overall. Let's say, I don't know, it's like I'm taking these out of order. Let's say like Tarmiel. Let's take like the Archangels. Tarmiel, some people actually give him HP and defense, but personally I gave him full defense. We should like probably add another category just for Mr. I don't know, maybe. Yeah, there we go. Full defense, just because of his passive, like and everything. Like his passive and his damage is actually like surrounded his his defense, sorry. So yeah, full defense actually works, but if you want to like to have the high CC and plus like you want to use them like for like maybe guild wars in the future and so on, some people actually recommended HP and defense, but personally like I've been using him full defense, and he has like a really decent CC, and yeah, it worked perfectly for me, especially if you're going to be planning to like to use him as association. And his grace actually scales up based on his defense or the unit's defense. So having him like full defense actually works perfectly. There is characters that I don't know if I should like cover or not, but let me know if you guys want to. Personally, for Zeldris, I gave him HP and defense since he's like a support unit, and he's a great association for a lot of characters. So having HP and defense can actually increase your CC and also like increase his survivability as well, in order to like to have his passive as long as possible. Merlin, Lottie Merlin is actually attack and crit damage, but some people actually give her attack and crit like a lifesteal. You can actually use that, and it actually works very well. But like some people, of course, like some people actually gives her HP and defense in the Whaley PvP if you want her to like to survive as much as possible. But attack and crit damage actually works very well, and it's actually good for Merlin if you want to like to see numbers. But yeah, you can actually use attack and lifesteal if you actually want to like to experiment, and also like you want to like to try out her with lifesteal. For Kyo is actually HP and defense, since you want him to survive and also like have his passive for a really long time. Like speed run it actually. For Gloxinia, HP and defense because you want him to survive. This is the Green Gowther, HP and defense as well. Same as the other one. I'm not gonna be covering like the characters that I feel like they're not very very like famous, or not a lot of people have him. Rugal, if you've been playing the game for a while, attack and defense should be good for him. Green Diane, or like because she's very very famous, HP and defense. You want her to survive because of her taunt, and plus like HP like gives her like the extra CC boost that you want to like in order to like to start first and stuff. So I recently made UR gear for her, and she's very very useful in so many scenarios. I'm not gonna be covering the ReZero collab units because we don't have it on global right now, but hopefully in the future when they come out and I actually have a look at them, I'm probably gonna make like another gear, or you can actually join our Discord server in order to like to get an idea of how everything works, and maybe you ask questions and stuff. For Esterosa, some people actually have him attack and defense. Personally, I have him attack and defense, and he works very well for PvE content because he does like a crazy amount of damage, but you can actually have him HP and defense as well if you want to use him in PvP, because you don't want him to like to die as fast as possible, and also like you want him to like to keep his commandment active if you're using like a full stance team and stuff. So that's something that you should keep in mind. But attack and defense, if you want like to use them in PvE content, it actually works very very well. But preferably HP and defense, because HP defense tends to be very future proof as well. So keep that in mind. Who else did I miss? I feel like this guy is attack and crit damage, but he shares like this guy. He's actually attack and defense because his cards like do a crazy amount of damage anyway. But I personally gave him attack and crit damage with the possibility to switch to attack and defense if I want to add the extra CC and stuff. Some people actually use him like HP and defense in high PvP. But yeah, not a lot of people are going to be pushing for top 100. Gloxinia is actually HP and defense because she's a support unit and you want her to like to survive as much as possible. This guy is actually really really fun, and I would actually put him in attack and defense. Her HP and defense with like Pierce roles in the substats. If you guys want to know more about substats, I actually made an entire like different videos about it, so you can actually have a look at it. Death Pierce, if you're a whale and you're planning to like to make a gear for her, I would actually, or for him, sorry, I would actually recommend doing HP and defense. That actually works very very well. For Arthur, there are two types of Arthurs, which is like the red one and the blue ones, which is like the most commonly used. And he's expected that there is like a new Arthur that is actually coming to the game, which is like Excalibur, like Arthur. So I would actually put him in attack, and some people actually have him attack and crit damage, but I think attack and defense should work very very well for any Arthur, because you want him like to do some damage, and yeah, it's much more like lenient and more future proof, I feel like. For Derriere, attack and defense should actually work very very well. Who did I miss? Like someone important. I feel like there is someone important that is actually looking at me right now, and this guy is HP and defense because you want him to out CC like other like characters because of his passive, and he's passive like, or HP and defense actually gives the high CC in the game, so keep that in mind. For this guy, actually attack and crit damage if you want to experiment, but HP and crit damage as well, it works to some extent. Of course, he's not going to be doing the same damage, but HP and crit damage actually works as well, because you're already gonna be making HP and defense for the red one, and you can actually just switch like the defense pieces for the crit damage, and it actually should work perfectly. But personally, I never tried it, but I had some people try it out, and actually it works pretty well. Who should I put next? Who am I missing? I feel like I actually covered everyone that needs to be covered. HP and defense should work very very well, although like some people actually have her attack and crit damage, but HP and defense for Knighthood Wars in the future should work very very well. Attack and defense as well should work as well. But yeah, it depends on your preference and what you're gonna be using her for, right? HP and defense for sure, because she's a support unit. Like as you guys notice from here, I tend to like to see if they're actually a support unit or attack based kind of unit. So I tend to like to put them HP and defense if they're support or offensive. I would actually put them like HP and defense because you want to like them to survive as much as possible. King, for example, is a support unit. HP and defense should work perfectly. Even although if you plan to like to use this guy, like I saw some people actually have attack and defense or attack and crit damage because like he's a crit based kind of character. But I would like actually recommend attack and defense, even though like some people actually use the same gear as this guy. But you want them like to do as much damage as possible. So yeah, attack and crit damage actually works very, very well if you want him to like to do the damage, especially for like farming anvils right now. If you have him like 6/6 and actually maxed out, of course. Who did I miss? Did I cover everyone? HP and defense. If you're a whale. Let's like scroll right through them like very, very quickly. I would say like HP and defense for her. Even although like some people actually like use triple defense for her. But HP and defense should actually work if you plan to use her for something like or then like the knighthood bosses and stuff. Aaron, attack and defense for sure. Milascula I already covered. And her, I would say HP and defense because you want to like to increase her CC as much as possible. Nanashi, HP and defense. This Derriere is actually HP and defense because you want her to survive because of her taunt and everything. And if you're planning to like to make HP gear for any of the green or the blue one, only the red one actually use like attack and defense, but the rest actually HP and defense, I believe, which is like the most better and makes sense since they are like the support unit that their passive is going to be like affecting the other team. And you want it to like to stay as much as possible. So yeah, King HP and defense. I feel like I actually covered every character right now. She's actually special. She's actually like attack and crit damage. I saw some people actually have, but you want to like to have like crit resistance. So some people actually have attack and crit resistance gear. You can actually use that, but you're going to be sacrificing so much CC. So I would actually put like the substats as crit resistance, but it's actually personal preference. You can actually use attack and defense as well, but it depends like on like which one you want to use. But attack and crit resistance is actually very advised, and a lot of people have been using it for a while. But yeah, I think we covered everybody. But let me know if you guys like want me to like to cover every single unit in my next video. Like I just like covered like the units that I felt like they're very common to use right now, and the characters that you want to be given UR gear to right now. Plus like some of these units don't even exist on global yet, like such as like the ReZero, but we're catching up right now. But yeah, let me know how you guys actually geared your characters and why down in the comments if you're actually interested in that. But with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. And if you did, please don't forget to leave a like, as all likes are really, really appreciated and do help the channel to grow. Subscribe if you haven't already. And yeah, I'm going to be leaving this this chart probably in this Discord server and probably like put a link to it if you guys are interested to see it. But I hope I covered everything. Thank you so much for watching, and catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.